Hey, so I wanted to talk right now a little bit about culture shock because I've been studying Japanese for a couple days now. Like, that's a new side quest for me. I've been focusing on mathematics this year, um, but I made it a side quest to learn some Japanese, and I'm doing pretty good so far. But I never had, for those of you who don't know, I used to live in Japan for 2.5 years when I was very young. It was 20 years ago now, almost 21 years ago that I first moved to Japan. It was like November 1999. I was 6 years old. Uh, Lived in Japan until I was 8. Moved to San Diego after that. I never had culture shock in Japan because I would say, knowing what I know now, I was too young. I was young enough to where everything was still new to me when I lived in Japan. So, I mean, living in Japan was just as much of a shock as living in Texas, which is where I lived before I lived in Japan. And I know I look like ass right now. My hair is all fucked up and messy, and I haven't combed it or anything. But shit, that looks worse. So, uh, real culture shock has occurred in the past like 2 weeks for me. About a week and a half ago, my family went to a store here in Baltimore and took me, and I accidentally looked a black dude in the eyes, and he almost jumped me for it. I, for those of you who don't know, for some reason in black culture, looking at people is like the biggest disrespect you can do, aside from calling them the N word or anything like that, stepping on their shoes or something like that. If you look at a person, that basically says, "Let's fight." It's like an abused dog almost. And you're probably gonna call me racist for comparing black people to dogs, but that's the closest comparison that I have. Um, an abused dog you can't look at in the eyes, otherwise it will attack you. A black person you can't look at in the eyes, otherwise they will attack you or want to. So today I did the same thing on accident again. I was standing outside on my porch, uh, trying to smoke some tobacco, and the mailman came up. The mailman was a black guy. I saw him. He showed me the mail. He put it in the box. Apparently, he didn't put it in the box because I looked away. And when I went to get the mail, there was no mail. So my family got robbed of their mail because I looked at a black dude. That's culture shock right there. And I kind of already knew the rules. Don't look at black people. Don't look at people, especially not in the eye. But I forgot. See, I've been focusing on mathematics and Japanese culture and Japanese language. So my my mind is elsewhere. And even if I wasn't focusing on that shit, I got a court date in less than 1 month. Uh, Ichisuki in Japanese, Ichisuki, which means 1 month. Ichi Suki or ski, which means 1 month. So this Kokujin took our mail, and Kokujin means black guy in Japanese. Yeah, I'm learning a lot. But that's real culture shock. Real culture shock is being trained your whole life to look people in the eye the way I have. Because when I was younger, I was abused, and being abused makes you very like a nervous wreck all the time. And looking at people becomes very hard. So I just wouldn't look at people. So I had to be trained and train myself to look people in the eye when I met them or when I talked to them. So I've spent most of my life looking at people in the eye or trying to look people in the eye. Now I have to go back to not looking at people in the eye. And that's shocking, and that's going to be tough as fuck. That's going to be hard as fuck because I've spent most of my life trying to look at people in the eye when I talk to them, when I meet them, when I see them on the street. And now that's disrespectful because I'm surrounded by kokujin. I don't know what else to say about that. But I'm gonna let my family know that the mail was stolen and by who and why when they get home, and we'll probably do something about it. Peace.